today I am going to do a little video on what I bring with me on every single trip. This bag is fixed on to my Windhorse C3 Max, and it does not go anywhere. It comes with me on every trip, and I'm going to show you some essentials that maybe you want to have on your bike or your scooter. So yeah, let's just get into what I've got on here. So the first thing I would suggest is if you're gonna leave a bag on your bike permanently, get yourself one of these little luggage locks, and they're super easy to get. You can get one at the dollar store. I got them there, and so it just keeps it locked. Mind you, if anyone breaks into here, there's not really anything that I can't replace for under 20 bucks. And it's just stuff that I need to bring with me on every trip just to make sure I have everything in case I get a flat, in case I get stuck somewhere for a while, So I'm just going to show you what I've got going on here. So the first thing I've got is my little bag that I bring with me in case I go do errands or something. I just have a little, tote bag here, so you can stick one in if you want or not. That's fine. The other thing I always bring with me is a bottle of water. I just have an old Gatorade bottle that I keep filling up with water, and I stick this on my bike all the time. So there you go. I'll just put that back there. And what I like about this bag is that it's got saddlebags. If you open these up, they drop down into saddlebags. I'll show you that in a bit. So let's see what I've got going on inside the bag. So the first thing when you open it up, and I do apologize, it's a little hard. There we go. So I've got all my tools. This is my tool kit for everything that I need to fix my bike. If I need to tighten up bolts, yeah, I've got literally everything in here. I've got a ton of Allen keys. So there you go. Socket wrenches, different, tools. So I've got everything in here that I need to repair my scooter if I need to, or tighten anything. So there we go. That's the first thing I've got. Very important to have with you on every trip. Got a bungee cord, just in case I get something and I need to fix it to my scooter. So I've got actually 2 bungee cords. So I stick those in there as well. I do have the goo, if you remember my previous video about the goo. This is just in case of an emergency flat. I would put it in the tire if I already had a puncture, just to prevent the puncture from getting worse and to get me home. So yes, I do have the goo. I would not use it unless absolutely necessary, but I do have that in there. Next, I have my pump, my bike pump. Or my scooter pump, I should say. So there you go. I've got that in there. And the great thing about this one is it's got an emergency light. So if I turn it on, I have, where's the light? There it is. So I've got that one. Then it flashes red and white if you've got an emergency on the side of the road. Another red one, and then off. So nice to have. I got that for under 20 bucks on Amazon. Then I've got an extra battery for my my camera, my action camera, in case I need it. It's there. And what else do I have? I have snacks. So always bring snacks. You never know if you're going to be out and let's say you get a flat or something, or you're, on a long trip, you get hungry, bring some snacks. So I've got a couple of things here. Also, if you're like me and you have, POTS or diabetes or something where you need sugar right away, it's always good to have something like that there. Next, I have an emergency medical kit. So hand sanitizer, iodine pads, what else? First aid tape, Band-Aids, sterile pads. So got all that in there, and a pair of scissors in case I need to cut the tape. So that is what I have there. Customize it to your needs. I've got hand sanitizer in case I need to sanitize my hands or sanitize a wound. If I have a wound and I need to sanitize it before I get home, there you go. I've got that. I've got, there we go. I've got zip ties always handy to have zip ties with you. So I've got a bag of zip ties. You can see I use them religiously because they're almost empty, but those always have zip ties with you. And I've got a battery charger backup for my phone. So that I bring with me everywhere I go, and I do charge it once a month just to make sure it's got a full charge. So I've got that. And then I've also got a plug-in charger for my phone too, just in case I'm anywhere where I can plug it in and don't have to use the other one. So have that. And lastly, in this compartment, I have a cover for my scooter in case it starts to rain. I've got a full cover. I can throw it over the scooter and it won't get wet. So that's what that is. So that was what was in the main compartment. Side compartment, let me just bring you guys down here. So in my side compartment, on this side, I've got my bike chain. So this is my big bike chain. I put it in this side compartment. And like I said, the cool thing is you pull this down and you've got saddlebags. So there you go. Now I've got a saddlebag, and the other side does the same thing, which is great. So if you're ever out and you need a little more storage, you know, the saddlebags come in really handy for that. So I keep the big chain on this side because it is the heaviest one. And then to balance it out on the other side, I've got my other locks. So I've just got one of these. This I wrap around the rear wheel, and I wrap it up pretty tight as it'll go, and I'll just leave it on the rear wheel. So I have that one. I've also got the handlebar lock. So this goes over the brake handle, and then this over your actual handlebar over the throttle. So this locks everything in place. So I have that. And lastly, I've got my rotor brake, or my rotor lock, sorry. And that goes into the rotor and it locks the rotor. So I always put all 4 locks on my bike. And again, this is a saddlebag on this side as well. So that is my bag that I take with me everywhere I go. It never leaves the bike, and it always stays on, and it's got all my emergency stuff in it. And if I need to stick my wallet in here when I go out, I do that as well. So just a few little tips on what I bring with me on every single ride, just in case there's an emergency. You know, it's always better to be prepared than to not be prepared. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and share my video, and I will see you guys next time.